Good evening, everybody. How are you doing this evening? I am doing amazing. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. So, how's everybody? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening. I don't know why I feel like singing. I that was not a part of the plan tonight, but I just feel like singing. So welcome to Sip and Say with Stephanie. I am so excited that you've chosen to join me on tonight. So let me do my song. Welcome to Sip and Say with Stephanie. How are y'all doing? Woohoo! It's Thursday night. Woohoo! I'm acting like it's Friday night, right? Friday night. Just got paid. I know I'm off with that song, right? I haven't heard it in a while. But how y'all doing tonight? This again, welcome to Sip and Say with Stephanie. I keep saying it because I'm really excited to be here tonight. I had a good day at work today. I got some things done that I needed to get done, and then I worked on some other projects that have been entrusted to me. And I'm very thankful for that my director trusted me to do some new implementations that she really didn't necessarily give them to me, but it was like it needs to be done. I took the responsibility and I feel really good about it. Um, I took on a project last year that I'll be continuing this year. Just did some updating for the upcoming school year. And then now I have another new project, very similar to the other one that I've taken on. And I'm so excited about that as well. I'm thankful for the success and the achievements and the progress that I've made on my job in this still fairly new, about a year old. In April, it'll be a year in this new position. And I've taken on more responsibility than I thought I would have. But it's been good for me to implement some new procedures, some new programs, some new guidelines. It's been really good for me to expand and elevate and grow in my leadership skills and in my creativity skills and in supporting the overall program for the Office of Early Education. I'm really excited about all the good things that God has entrusted me with, that my supervisor has entrusted me with. And I'm thankful and I look forward to more to come. All right. So, how are y'all doing? How was your work day today? How was your retirement day today? How was your day off today? Your birthday, your anniversary, whatever you're celebrating, whatever you've done today? How was your day? I'm going to be honest, I took a few more minutes today at work to just relax and breathe. I decided to take care of my mental health and to take care of my emotional health. But I will take a few more breaks throughout the day just so I can assess my body, assess my mind and my heart, and then reset if I need to reset. So today was the first day in a very, very long time that I took a few extra minutes just to breathe, to relax, to get up from my desk, to walk through the building, to go here, to go there, just again, so that I can be refreshed mentally and emotionally, so I can reset and be ready to start the next project that I needed to work on for today. So that was one thing that I'm thankful that I did today. And I think I'm going to continue to do that. I think we here in America, maybe in other countries, but in America in particular, I think we're so used to productivity that we don't take the time for ourselves throughout the workday. I understand that our jobs, they are paying us to do a job. I understand that and I get that. But there are lunch breaks, 15-minute breaks. There are times throughout the day that we need to take for ourselves. And I'm going to start doing that even more frequently than I've been doing in the past, especially now that I'm in the screening season and preparing to welcome the new class of 4-year-olds that will be joining us for next school year. It's imperative that I take care of me. Like I used to tell my assistants in the classroom, if they, had doctor's appointments or, whatever they had going on with their health, do what you got to do. Take care of you because there's only one you. There's only one me, so I have to take care of me. So, hey, Aunt Wanda, how are you? I'm so glad that you joined us on tonight. It is so exciting to be here. So, look, I have probably talked enough as far as my welcome is concerned, but I was really excited to get to sip and say with Stephanie tonight. I only have a few things to share with you tonight. I do have a few updates. I only have like just a few Black history moments for us to consider and to talk about on tonight. There's so much Black history. If you don't know, this is Sip and Say with Stephanie, the Black edition. There is so much rich, amazing, wonderful, excellent Black history moments, Black history inventors, Black history creators, Black history historians, Black history doctors, activists, whatever. There are so many of us that it is so hard to capture all of it in the hour or so time that we have. So I encourage you to do some research for yourself about Black history. Who invented this super soaker? um, who invented like the cotton gin. Well, we know Eli Whitney did that. So sidebar that one. Who did like over 300 different varieties or creations with the peanut. We ought to know that one. Like who invented the VoIP system, that the voice over system that we use. It was invented by a Black woman. Like do some research for yourself about the rich history that we have as Black Americans. So again, I'm only going to highlight a few tonight. The cotton fields of America. Our history continent of Africa with all the amazing countries within that continent. Our history started there amongst kings and queens and maybe even some servants there as well. But our history is rich in culture, rich in dancing, rich in knowledge, rich in innovation, rich in collaboration. Our history is so rich and so vast and so amazing. And again, it did not start on the cotton fields of America. Just wanted to let you know. All right, let me do my updates first. Well, no, I don't want to do my updates first. I'm actually going to do my sip first. So y'all brought me. I don't know why I only gave myself a little bit of water, but I'm about to drink some. So I got a little water tonight. Watch y'all sipping on, but I got something else. I do have my Island Citrus She Can tonight. So again, I'll say it every time. The McBride sisters, they have a winery in California. They make the she can specifically for us ladies, for your she shed or your private moments, or your girl moments, your wedding, your bridal showers, your girls' night out or girls' night in, whatever you're doing. Grab you some she can. This is an Island Citrus. Last week I tasted the rose and it was all right. So I'm excited to taste this Island Citrus tonight. It has, I should have brought my glasses over here. It has grapefruit, guava, golden kiwi, and notes of tropical grapefruit, guava, and golden kiwi. So I'm excited. I'm going to open this with you. I did bring a paper towel over just so I don't want to damage my technology. Woo, a little pop there, little bubbles there. So, woo, I can smell that. So this one I think has 12.5% alcohol in it. For some reason, I don't see it. But anyway, this is a spritzer. So let's see if I can find it. Oh, it's down here at the bottom. 8%. So it has 8% alcohol in it. So I'm going to pour me a bit, get it away from my technology. I'm only going to pour, I'll show you guys what I'm doing. I'm only going to pour a little bit because y'all know I was a little crazy last week. Not because of the alcohol, but because of the topics that I was discussing. We won't get it twisted. But so this is so what are we going to toast tonight? This is Island's toast to every Black person who has struggled and who has overcome. Cheers to you and to me. Ooh, this smells good. I smell the citrus more so than the alcohol. Ooh, that's strong. It's not bad. It's not bad. I can taste the citrus undertones in this one. So cool. Yeah, I definitely taste those citrusy undertones in that. So yeah, that one's not too bad. The alcohol is strong though. I'm gonna tell you, y'all know I'm not a drinker. I'm pretty sure you've heard the news that President Putin, he has invaded parts of Ukraine. I did have a map. Oh, actually, I do have a map. Things that went off in certain places in the Ukraine. I I don't I don't understand why world leaders want to dominate other countries. Like, I know that Russia is in charge of parts of Ukraine, but I don't know why world leaders want to invade other countries. I don't really understand the thought of world domination. I don't really get that because I'm thinking I have enough to do just to rule over or to guide over, to lead over what's been entrusted to me right here. Like, why would I want to go into other countries or other territories and in smaller scale? And I know get it, but Putin, who is the president of Russia, he has claimed that his goal of establishing his military around the Ukrainian border and now actually setting off bombs in parts of Ukraine. He claimed his goal. This was prior to the bombs that happened last night, but he claimed his goal was to protect people, not by a Jewish president. The Nazis came after the Jews. This is a Jewish president. I'm pretty sure he is not leading Ukraine in a Nazi style fashion. But this is what Putin has claimed. He went on to say that is particularly relevant because in 2014, the Ukrainians protested against the rule of the pro-Russian president, Viktor Yanukovych. Okay, he is a pro-Russian president. They protested his rule and he was ousted. He was out of there. And so Putin still has some resentment and some anger towards the people of Ukraine for standing up for their rights and for standing up for a leader who would, have the citizens of Ukraine's best interests in mind. So there's still some residual effects there of them getting rid of that pro-Russian president in 2014. Also, so we know that late in 2021, Putin began deploying big numbers of Russian troops close to the border. And as a result, we had some of the bombs that went off later last night and into this morning. I want it noted that Russia has long resisted Ukraine's move toward the European Union, the EU, and the West's defensive military alliance, NATO. Announcing Russia's invasion, he accused NATO of threatening their historic future as a nation. That is what Putin claimed. So again, I'm not quite sure what his purpose is. I'm reading here the things that he said and the reasons why he has given to invade Ukraine, but I don't know what the end game is. Like, what is his ultimate goal in doing this? I do not know. So let's pray for the people of Ukraine. Let's pray for them. Let's pray for us. Let's pray for their other allies. Let's pray that this does not turn into a full-scale war. Let's pray that our troops who have already been sent over to Ukraine, our Fort Bragg soldiers have been sent. I don't know what other soldiers have been sent from other bases. I just know for sure Fort Bragg soldiers have been sent over. Let's pray that they will not have to get involved in a war, that they will not lose their lives, that they will not have to engage with Russians. Let's pray that a ceasefire will happen. Let's pray that God will intervene on the behalf of the Ukrainians, that there will be a peace, like a settlement of peace, a peace treaty, negotiations, talks, so that whatever Putin is thinking, whatever resolve he desires, that it will come about, but not to the detriment of the Ukrainian people. Let a resolve come about that's good for the Russian government as well as for the Ukrainian government. Okay. I know that's not Black history, but I'm going to give you a little bit of news and then we're going to get into Black history. We just need to know what's going on in our world, because what's going on in other countries, it does affect us here in America. Russia is the top leader of oil, of gas. I went and filled my tank up today. It was $3.34 to fill up my tank. When I saw the price going up over 30, like I could fill up my tank. Normally I could fill up my tank for $23, $24. When I saw it going up to 30, over 30, oh, I was fussing. I was mad about that. But it is what it is. And so we're hoping that this attack on Ukraine does not get worse. President Biden did make a speech today. I forgot to tune in while I was at work, so I do not know what he said. I didn't get an opportunity to tune in since I've been home, but I know that he has already put in place some sanctions against Russia. And he has stated that he will put additional sanctions in place until Russia decides to move away from Ukraine. And so I'll have to get an update. You get an update because Sip and Say with Stephanie is in another 2 weeks after tonight. So you get an update for yourself to hear what the president is saying. So we'll know, how we are to pray, how we are to petition heaven for a quick and peaceful resolve in Ukraine. Okay. Excuse me. So let's pray for the people of Ukraine. Let's also pray for Putin and for the Russian government. All right. I also wanted to give you 2 additional updates. I don't know if you know it yet, you all, but Kim Potter is a police officer, former police officer, who shot and killed Daunte Wright back in April 11, 2021. I'm about to say 22, but 2021. It's almost been a year since he was killed. She did go to trial for the murder of Daunte Wright. She received 2 years, y'all. 2-year prison sentence for killing Daunte Wright. She said that she meant to grab her taser, but she grabbed her gun instead. I don't know if you've ever held a gun, if you ever held a taser, but they're 2 different weights. A trained police officer would know which weapon they are grabbing. I know she felt the weight of that gun, and I know she felt that weight was different than an actual taser. Anyway, she killed Daunte Wright. It was a traffic stop, and he lost his life that night. So Kim Potter has received a 2-year sentence. I just wanted to give you that update. Do I agree with that? Heck no. She should have received more. What she should have received, I don't know, but it definitely should have been more than 2 years for killing somebody. Last news update. As I stated last Sip and Say with Stephanie, Gregory McMichael and Travis McMichael and William Bryan, they were on trial for hate crimes against Ahmaud Arbery for hate crimes, violating his rights and killing him because he was Black. They were on trial for that. Well, just this week, they were found guilty of hate crimes against Ahmaud Arbery. They are already serving a life sentence. I don't know what the sentence will be on top of the sentence they are already serving. I didn't get the details of when that sentencing will be, but they were found guilty. And I'm glad about it. So that was it for that. I feel like this is one of the very few times that a Black person who had been killed received justice for the crime committed against them. Of course, justice would have been Ahmaud Arbery being alive and well. But because he's not, I feel like the criminal justice system, or the criminal injustice system, it worked this time in sentencing, in convicting Gregory McMichael, Travis McMichael, and William Bryan in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery and in the hate crimes committed against Ahmaud Arbery. So I'm glad that happened. All right. So those are all of my updates. I'm done with that. We're going to get right into Black history. I purposely wore my Black Lives Matter earrings so that I just wanted to I was going to put on my Afghan, or my dashiki, but I was like, I just want to wear my earrings tonight. So that's what we're doing. So let's get into some Black history, y'all. So what I did is I did not purposely pick out all women. That's what ended up happening. I ended up picking out all Black women to talk about tonight. And I'm okay with that because I am a Black woman. I got my Black woman she-can right beside me that I'm sipping on tonight. So it's all good. So I first want to talk to you about Mae Bertha Carter. I like Mae because my grandmother's name was Mae. So hey, Miss Mae. Of course, Miss Mae has passed away, but hey, Miss Mae in heaven. Mae Bertha Carter, she was a mom. So this is Black history parenting. So I broke all the Black history facts into sections. So this is the parenting section. So Mae Bertha Carter was born on January 13, 1923 in Sunflower County, Mississippi. She married Matthew Carter in 1939, and they were sharecroppers. They raised 25 acres of cotton, and they did, of course, as a part of sharecropping, gave a portion of their profits to the plantation owner. And they sharecropped on Pimble Plantation. In the fall of 1965, the Carters enrolled 7 of their 13 children in local white schools. Desegregation of schools had already happened at this time. So the Carters decided to enroll 7 of their 13 children in an all-white school or in a local white school, which they had the right to do because, again, desegregation had already happened in Mississippi. Now, their plantation owner wasn't too happy about this, so this is what he told them to do. He told the Carters to withdraw their children because they would receive a better education at a Black school. I don't know if you know the history of Black schools during this time, but Black schools did not have the resources that white schools have. That's not too much different than it is today. The Black schools often received the hand-me-downs of white schools, whether it was old books, old resources. They did not have the money, the funding, the resources to pour into the Black children. So these teachers of these Black children, they did the best they could to make sure that our Black children was as educated and as ready for the world as white children were. So that's what a plantation owner told them to do. Miss Mae Bertha Carter later said, "He cannot tell me what to do about my children." I know that's right. You don't mess with a Black mother. Don't mess with a Black mother about her kids. Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. So anyway, as a result of, so the Carters decided to keep their children in these white schools. And as a result, the Carters' house, it was riddled with bullets. Like one night, somebody riddled their house with bullets in the middle of the night. They were eventually evicted, losing their income, and of course, losing their home. But did that deter the Carters? No, ma'am, no, sir. They kept their children in these all-white schools. And from 65 to 68, the Carters were the only Black family that kept their children in these predominantly white schools. The only family in the county to keep their children, Sunflower County, to keep their children, because the Carters recognized that their children could get the very best education at these white schools because, again, the resources were there. In 1967, the Carters and Marion Wright Edelman. If y'all don't know who Marion Wright Edelman is, look her up. She was a defense lawyer with the NAACP. She was a lawyer with the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund Incorporated. She is also the founder of the Children's Defense Fund, work that she's been doing for years, y'all, years. Check her out on the Children's Defense Fund. it is the, if not one of the largest nonprofits that advocate for children and families, in particular for children, but for children and families. They advocate, fight for, support, influence legislation as it relates to our children. So Marian Wright Edelman, her and the Carters decided to file a lawsuit against the Drew School District, challenging the state's freedom of choice law. So the freedom of choice laws allow parents to select their child's school. So what the state did is they tried to keep Black children in Black schools by enacting this law. But the Carters decided, I'm going to challenge this law. So she sued the Drew School District. And guess what, y'all? Miss Mae won the suit in 1969, removing the last legal hurdle to the desegregation of Mississippi's public schools. Yes, Miss Mae Bertha. I'm telling you, Black parenting, look, y'all, don't mess with a Black parent's child, especially not a Black mother's child. She sued, she won her case. And so let me backtrack. So eventually 8 of the Carter's children graduated from what had been an all-white school, what had been all white schools in Sunflower County. 5 older children graduated from local Black schools. 11 also graduated from college. 7 of them from the once segregated University of Mississippi. So her children went on to graduate, to do great and wonderful things. I don't know what they're doing now, but I'm just declaring that they're doing great and wonderful things. I love the activism that Miss Mae and her husband advocated for their children to get the best education they possibly could get. So I salute Miss Mae Bertha Carter for fighting for her children, for advocating for her children, and for not letting the loss of income and the loss of home and her house being shot up deter her from getting what she needed for her children, deter her from keeping her children from getting the best education they could get. So that's all right with me, y'all. Woohoo! So salutes to Miss Mae Bertha Carter. All right, so moving right along to sports. Let's talk about Black history sports. Have y'all heard the name Erin Jackson? If you haven't, you heard it here first on the Stephanie Humphrey channel. Erin Jackson is the first Black woman to win an individual medal in speed skating at the Winter Olympics. She's also the first American woman to win a medal in long track speed skating since 2002. So she is an Olympic gold medalist, y'all, Miss Erin Jackson. I'm so proud of her. I don't even know her, but I'm so proud of her. Like, she my sister, she my cousin, she my friend. I'm so proud of her. So look, y'all, Erin used to be a roller skater. She started roller skating when she was 8 years old. She was a star in inline speed skating. She won 7 medals in world championship events and a silver medal at the 2015 Pan American Games. So she started off roller skating, then she went to inline skating, and in 2017, she decided, let me try some speed skating. So that's what she did. She only started competing in speed skating on ice in 2017. So she perfected her speed skating on ice over the last few years, and in 2022, she became a gold medalist in this event. Isn't that awesome? Like, Miss Erin Jackson, she did that. But look, you all, Erin did have a setback. Oh, before I get to her setback, let me share this. After only a year of practice, Erin qualified for the 2018 Olympics, finishing 24th in the 500 meters. And even though she was top ranked 500 meters, let me slow down. Despite being the top ranked 500 meter skater in the world, Jackson was in danger of missing the Olympics, y'all. She ranked 3rd in the U.S. speed skating trials. She finished third, which would have disqualified her from going to the Olympics, y'all. But guess what? Her teammate, Brittany Bowe, who won first place, she gave her place to Erin. She gave her place. So she set herself aside so that Erin could have an opportunity to make history. I watched them on Good Morning America. I think about a week or so ago, they were on Good Morning. I actually watched the event where she actually slipped on the ice. Like, it was really subtle, but I guess when you're doing speed skating, it's got to be straight through. You can't slip. And you can see that very slight skip. And you could tell it in her face. She knew, like, oh my goodness. And so her teammate gave her spot. They did an interview on Good Morning America. And I can't remember what Brittany said, but if I'm recalling correctly, she understood the significance of Erin competing in this speed skating event and potentially winning again to make history. And she did. So I would like to celebrate Brittany Bowe for being humble enough and courageous enough and just sweet enough to give her spot to someone else, understanding again the historical significance of her competing and possibly winning, which she did. So thank you, Miss Brittany Bowe. And to Erin Jackson, congratulations, girl, for winning, for being the first African American to win an individual medal in speed skating at the Winter Olympics. Congratulations to you. I hope you celebrated well. I hope you celebrated well. And I do want to say that Erin was very appreciative to Brittany for giving her this opportunity, and we appreciate it too. So congratulations, Erin. So let's move right down to science and medicine, y'all. So one thing I decided to do for our Black History Facts this year, if you go back and look at the Stephanie Humphrey channel, in February of 2021, the Black edition, you will hear me give several Black history moments of seasoned Black history individuals that have either passed away or are just up in age. But this year, I thought it was important to highlight some of the Black history makers that are still living and are still, well, all Black history is relevant, but are more relevant to the younger and being an example for the younger generations in our time today. So just wanted to share that with you. So Dasia Taylor, if you all have never heard of Dasia Taylor, then you're hearing her for the first time on the Stephanie Humphrey channel. This young lady, you all, in October 2019, she began working on a suture thread that changes colors when a surgical wound becomes infected. It would turn from red, bright red, to purple. And if it turned from bright red to a dark purple, then the individual would know that they had an infection in that wound, and they could, go on to the doctor or the emergency room to get treated. Miss Dasia Taylor entered a statewide science fair with her suture. She won awards at regional science fairs, and she became one of the 40 finalists in the Regeneron Science Talent Search. The Regeneron Science Talent Search is one of the country's oldest and most prestigious science and math competitions for high school students. She entered and she became one of the 40 finalists. That's all right, Miss Dasia. Dasia is currently working on a patent she's continuing to experiment with her sutures, but she's also working on a patent for her suture. And I pray, Dasia, that you get that patent, girl, because I don't want anybody to come in like they used to, like white people used to do for Black inventors. They would come in and patent it before a Black person could do it, because oftentimes we may not have known to do it or didn't have the education to do it. So, girl, get your patent, girl, so that you can be credited for this amazing invention in the world of science, technology, education, and math, in the world of STEM. STEM. I wanted to say STEAM, but the world of STEM. Yes. And so Dasia is currently a freshman at the University of Iowa, where, again, she is continuing her work. I'm going to add a link to my description once the broadcast is over so you can read some more about Dasia Taylor. You can hear her talking in her own words. It actually shows you the suture. And I want you all to know what she uses to make the suture. Can y'all guess? It's a vegetable. Y'all guess. Take a guess in the chat or the comments. Dun, 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 dun. Let me stop before Jeopardy try to get me for copyright. I'm gonna take a sip while y'all want to know what vegetable that she used to get the sutures to turn from bright red to purple. I don't see nobody typing nothing in the chat. It's okay. I'm gonna take a sip while y'all thinking. I'm gonna tell you. She actually used beets, y'all. Beets. Y'all, I don't like beets to eat. Like, I think my grandmother used to put beets on the table. Not a lot, but sometimes she did. I do not like beets. I have tried them. I don't like them. But she uses beets, y'all, in order to cause the sutures to turn different colors. Now, how she does it, I don't know. There is a video where she takes you through the process a little bit. But y'all, isn't that amazing that like just something that we can produce in our environment, in our garden, can be used to help patients who have had surgery. Oh gosh, this brings me so much joy, y'all. Look, look, my mom guessed carrots. That was a good guess. And now look, my mom and my aunt said beets. Thank y'all for adding that to the chat. But yes, that's what she uses in order to determine. And as a person who has had surgery, y'all, I had a major surgery. And I did have sutures, to close up my wound. And of course, everything was well. I did not get an infection. Thank you, God, for that. But how amazing would it have been, for me to have had that technology that Dasia created, that she invented in the event that I had an infection. And it's so interesting because before I had the surgery, I actually talked to one of my coworkers who had the same surgery that I had a few years ago. And she shared her experience with me, and she actually got an infection from the surgery. Like after the surgery, she actually got an infection in her wound site. So how awesome would it have been if she would have had these sutures? So she would have known like right away, oh my goodness, let me go to the hospital because something's not right here. I applaud Dasia for even coming up with the idea to have sutures that turn color so that surgery patients will know if they have received it or if they have gotten an infection in that site. Like, salute to you, girl. You are doing it. And Dasia, I think Dasia right now she's either 18 or 19 now, y'all. And I believe she was 17. If I'm remembering correctly, because it's been a minute since I've watched the video, but if I'm remembering correctly, she was 17, either 16 or 17, when she came up with this idea and began to perfect it. Oh, I'm so excited. Like, that makes me so happy. I love it when young people are doing amazing things, especially in the area of STEM, y'all. Science, technology, engineering, math, y'all. It is so amazing to see young people, and then young Black people, and then a young Black girl doing something this amazing, you all, that will help surgery patients for years and decades and centuries to come. So I salute Miss Dasia Taylor in the area of science and medicine. Woohoo! All right. So we're going to move right along to activism. So you all, I did take it back a little bit with this this activist. Her name is Amelia Boynton. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. She was born in 1911. She passed away in 2015, y'all. I think she was 100 and she was 103 when she passed away. That's what I'm talking about. I guess I could have done the math in my head, but y'all, I won't try to do no math. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit about Miss Amelia Boynton. She was both the first African-American woman and the first female Democratic candidate to run for a seat in Congress in Alabama, the very first. And even though she did not win, she did receive 10% of the votes. So go ahead, Miss Amelia. She was also, let me read a little bit down here. Some of the work that she completed along with her husband, Mr. Samuel. They achieved, let me make sure I got this right. So Miss Amelia and Samuel, her husband, collectively worked toward achieving voting, property, and education rights for poor African Americans in Alabama, in particular those in farm countries. Miss Amelia worked tirelessly for voting rights. That is one thing I remember that she done, just remembering some past research that I've done. So she held many voter registration drives in Selma from the 1930s to the 1950s, y'all. She was adamant about getting people registered to vote, y'all, because she understood then, even in the 30s, she understood the power that voting had for all people, but for African American people in particular. So in 1964, as the civil rights movement was picking up, okay, so I already added that she ran for Congress, and that was in 1964. But I want you to know that she was again dedicated to securing suffrage or voting rights for African Americans. So she asked Dr. King, this was in 64. She asked Dr. King to come and help her with some voting. Let me make sure I say it right. Yep, she asked Dr. King to come to help promote voting rights in Selma. All right. So Dr. King and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the SCLC, they did come to Selma. They set up headquarters in Miss Amelia's home, and they planned to march from Selma to Montgomery, which they did on March 7th. Y'all know this date well, the march from Selma to Montgomery. On March 7th, 1965, there were about 600 protesters that arrived on the Edmund Pettus Bridge ready to cross over. But y'all remember what happened, right? Y'all remember the videos, y'all remember the news report. The event is known as Bloody Sunday because they were met with tear gas and they were met with billy clubs. And the policemen, they attacked not only Miss Amelia, but John Lewis was there. Of course, Dr. King was there. Other protesters, they were there, and they were attacked. Many of them went to the hospital. Let me see if I have it down. So 17 protesters were sent to the hospital, including Miss Amelia. Miss Amelia, she was beaten unconscious. She was beaten unconscious. She was taken to the hospital, and as we know, she lived through it because she, recently passed away. But she lived through it, you all. But it didn't stop her. It didn't stop her, y'all. It didn't stop her. It didn't stop her. She continued to fight for voting rights of African American people. In 1988, she served as a vice chair of the Schiller Institute. The Schiller Institute's mission is working around the world to defend the rights of all humanity to progress, material, moral, and intellectual. She served from 1988 to 2009 with the Schiller Institute. In 2014, her role in the civil rights movement and her role in the Selma to Montgomery march was immortalized on screen in the movie Selma, released by Ava DuVernay, and the actress let me make sure I'm saying that right. Lorraine Tucson, she played Amelia Boynton in the movie. Not Boynton. Let me make sure I'm saying her name. Boynton. She played her in the movie Selma. I don't know if you all know who Lorraine Tucson is. She was one of the leading actresses in Any Day Now. I think that was out in like the 80s or the 90s. She went on to do numerous other roles, but she is an amazing actress. So it was like very thrilling and very exciting to see her playing the role of Miss Amelia Boynton. And so the younger generation who might didn't know who she was or might didn't know that she was one of the originators of the Selma to Montgomery march for voting rights. She was the originator. She was the one again that asked Dr. King and the Southern Christian Leadership Council, conference to come. And so on January, no, not January. Let me backtrack. In March of 2020, I believe it was 2020, Miss Amelia held hands with President Obama as they marched alongside fellow civil rights activist Congressman John Lewis across the Edmund Pettus Bridge to mark the 50th anniversary of the Selma to Montgomery March. Let me make sure I have that year correct, you all. I believe it was in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't write the year down, but I'm going to look it up right now just to make sure that I have it right. And while I'm looking this up, apologize, I have the year totally wrong. I'm glad that I looked it up, y'all. Thank y'all for being patient with me because I didn't write that one down. So it's March 7th, 2015, when Miss Amelia held hands with with President Barack Obama. They walked across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. I do remember seeing the pictures of that event taking place. I also wanted to share with you all that Miss Boynton, she was actually, 103 that year, and then she passed away that same year on August 26th of 2015. I'm glad that she lived to be able to walk across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Man, I don't know if her family had an opportunity to record her talking about the civil rights movement or the Selma to Montgomery March or the other acts of activism that her and her husband, did in order to help African American people. I don't know if they have historical accounts of that. I hope so. I hope they have some written accounts or some recorded accounts of Miss Amelia talking about her experience and her activism as it relates to voting rights and other rights and privileges for African Americans. But what a woman of rich history to have, been with Dr. King and Congressman Lewis and the other activists that were there during that time. So yeah, a lot of history there with Miss Amelia, and I wanted to honor her and remind us of who she is, or introduce us to who she is if you didn't know. I want to share this quote that her son shared. Her son, Bruce Boynton, said of his mother's commitment to civil rights, "The truth of it is, that was her entire life. That's what she was completely taken with. She was a loving person, very supportive, but civil rights was her life." So I honor and salute Miss Amelia Boynton for the work that she did for all African Americans during the civil rights movement, and in particular in her home state of Mississippi. All right, so that was one of our activists. The other activist that I want to share with us tonight, in case you have never heard of Miss Latasha Brown, you should get to know Miss Latasha Brown. She is a young activist who is currently, she calls it the blackest bus. I think she calls it the blackest bus in America, but she is the co-founder of Black Voters Matter, and she has been traveling the United States to get people registered to vote, to talk about voting, and she has she has a bus to do this. And I first saw her while she was actually on her bus. It was on the Roland Martin Unfiltered show, and he was interviewing her, and you could tell that there was some movement going on. And she was sitting in the back of her bus, and she was doing this interview with Roland Martin. I can't remember what state she was headed to at that time, but again, she's been all over the United States getting people registered to vote, talking about voting, being an activist for Black and Brown people. And so I'm getting to know her between last year and this year. So Miss Latasha Brown, she's an activist. She is a lecturer. She is internationally known. She's been doing this work for a very long time. She's been working for social justice. political empowerment, human development. That's all on her website, in her About Me page. She's been doing this fight for a very long time. And I want to read this about her. This is from her website. As a co-founder of the Black Voters Matter Fund and the BVM Capacity Building Institute, LaTosha is adamant about ensuring that all human beings have access to quality education, safety, security, peace, love, and happiness. Striving daily to hear the voices of women in leadership, amplified and supported, she is also working to eliminate human suffering through her vision of the Southern Black Girls and Women's Consortium. Recognizing that her work is not rooted in strengthening political systems, governments, or institutions, but in the advancement of people. LaTosha serves as an authoritative figure in the lives of thousands, if not millions. Again, I'm just getting to know her. I follow the Black Voters Matter Fund on social media. So I'm in a little bit keeping track of the different states that she's gone to. I don't remember them and I didn't write them down. I can't rely on my memory. But I'm really in awe of the work that she has done and that she continues to do to fight for Black and Brown people and to make sure that people are educated about voting, are registered to vote, and can exercise their political power to vote. So I wanted to give you that information about Miss LaTosha Brown. Again, it was straight from her website. I think it's misslatashabrown.com, if I'm not mistaken. Do some research about her and get to know her a little bit better, all of her years of activism. She also is the founder of Saving Ourselves Coalition. It's a community-led disaster relief organization that helped hundreds of families in the aftermath of the American government way too long to get to the people of in Louisiana, which was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a ninth ward where heavily Black populated location, and it took forever for them to get some help. I mean, people were on top of like structures trying to get some relief, from those rising waters that took forever to recede. And so Miss LaTosha Brown was instrumental in helping get some relief to the people during Hurricane Katrina. I do want to note that she currently serves on the board of the National Coalition on Black Civil Participation, the Southern Documentary Fund, the U.S. Human Rights Network, and the Congressional Progressive Caucus Center. She is doing some amazing work for all people, but in particular for Black and Brown people. So I encourage you to visit her website, look her up, check her out, follow her on social media. If you can support her Black Voters Matter Fund, if you're able to do that because she is doing some great work in this here United States of America. So those are our two activists. So I want to get into health. I gave you a little bit of science and medicine with Miss Dasia, but I really want to highlight Miss, let me do Dr. Kizzmekia. I think I'm saying her name right. Dr. Corbett. If I'm saying your name wrong, I sincerely apologize. But Dr. Kismikia Corbett, she used her viral immunology expertise to propel novel vaccine development for pandemic preparedness, including the mRNA 1273, a leading vaccine against SARS-CoV-2. In other words, she was the one that did the research and initiated the vaccine for the COVID-19. So she was the initiator of that. She did the research, her and her team, and they're the ones that initiated and came up with the vaccine for COVID-19. So that was just a fancy word of saying she came up with the vaccine. So Dr. Corbett, she is a research fellow and the scientific lead for the coronavirus vaccines and immunopathogenesis team at the National Institutes of Health. the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and the Vaccine Research Center, which is a VRC. Dr. Corbett received a BS in Biology Sciences with a secondary major in Sociology in 2008 from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. She was a Mayer Hoff Scholar while she was at Baltimore or at the University of Maryland in Baltimore County. And she was an NIH, National Institutes of Health, undergraduate scholar. She also enrolled in the University of Carolina or the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, go Tar Heels, where she where she obtained her PhD in microbiology and immunology in 2014. So salute to Dr. Corbett for coming up with the vaccine. Hey, Dr. Corbett. Hey, girl. How you doing? Thank you for your work with infectious diseases. Thank you for coming up with a vaccine that has helped save hundreds of thousands of lives from the COVID-19. We salute you and we honor you. You all do some research, look up Dr. Corbett and get some more information about her. We celebrate her and we salute her and we are thankful for her work with infectious diseases and immunology. All right. So I also want to just mention Miss Byllye Avery. Miss Byllye Avery is the founder of the Black Women's Health Imperative. You all, if you've never gone to a workshop or a seminar or an event of the Black Women's Health Imperative, you should do it. I'm actually going to put their YouTube link in the description. I have attended their events. Their information is so rich. It is so good. It is so helpful for your life. So I encourage you to visit their website at bwhi.org. And again, I'll put the website and the link for the YouTube videos in the description. Last year, I think it was in April, if I'm not mistaken, last year, they celebrated 38 years of supporting Black women, supporting the health of Black women. And they did a series of videos like leading up to the anniversary celebration, and I participated in their videos. One was about, that's when I first learned about what was it, a sound bath. There was a young lady that it was so peaceful and relaxing, but she used crucibles. She had a gong, and I think she may have had some other instruments there. And she, you just sit back and relax. I was sitting in my recliner, and she was like making music with the crucibles, and she did the gong a few times, and it was very peaceful and it was very relaxing. That was my first introduction to a sound bath. There was a young lady who took us through some yoga poses. Oh my gosh, some of those poses I just could not do. My body is not flexible enough to move and do all of that. But she took us through some yoga poses. Sherry Shepherd came on and she talked to us about diabetes and eating healthy and exercising. And we did a little dance routine at the end. I wish I would have been dressed to get on the camera so you all can actually see me on the video, because they were showing us on the video, but I didn't dress to be seen on the video. So you're not going to see me, but you will see the Stephanie Humphrey channel in the chats. If you go and look at those videos, you will see the Stephanie Humphrey channel making comments in the chat. It was very encouraging and enlightening to be amongst those Black women and to get the information and to participate in the events. I've also gone back to listen to some of the other videos that they've had, like Sierra did a serving, I think it was called Serving Cervical or something. Like, I think they took serving and they took cervical and they meshed it together. And so she's talking about cervical cancer and the importance of women taking care of our vagina health. This is if I say with Stephanie, I'm gonna say what I want to say. Women taking care of our vagina health, knowing your vagina discharges, smells, whatever, taking care of us there. And so she did a short video on that. Oh gosh, there were some other entertainers that did some other videos I can't think of right now. They just recently did a talk about COVID-19 where there were some educators and other community leaders talking about the impact of COVID-19 on education and in our community. and in particular with our Black and Brown children and communities. And so they just some very relevant and necessary information. I follow them on social media as well to stay updated about the events and the other information that they're sharing. They're currently working on getting, I think it's 1 million women. You know what? Let me not say that because I can't remember. I can't rely on my memory. I should have wrote it down, but I'm going to put it in the description because if I'm not mistaken, they're currently working on getting 1 million women to have a mammogram so that we can take care of our breast health as well. And so if I need to correct that, I'll do it in the description. But they are doing this, they're doing amazing work at the Black Women's Health Imperative. It is like the number one or the leading, I would say the number one, in my opinion, the number one organization that talks about and supports Black women's health, you all. They even have a program going on for, I think it's a diabetes program, if I'm not mistaken. So they have so many initiatives and they're working to make sure that Black women are healthy, whether it's during your pregnancy, like I said, vagina health, breast health, mental health. They produce materials and information for us to take care of ourselves holistically. So again, I encourage you to check out their website, check out their past videos. They, again, have been working for 38 years, working for health equity for Black women. That's directly from their website. They have been working 38 years for health equity for Black women. Currently, Linda Goler Blount is a president. She's actually the one I see more so than Miss Byllye Avery. I see Miss Linda like hosting events and sharing information and talking about the new initiatives that they have to support Black women. It's Miss Linda Goler Blount, excuse me. She is actually the president of the Black Women's Health Imperative. So get you some of that information, y'all. I'm telling you, it is so good. It's so rich. It is so helpful. Get you some of that. All right. So actually, I think I had one other thing to talk. No, actually, that was it, y'all. That was it for Black history. I just wanted to highlight those individuals in Black history. Maybe you've never heard of them, maybe you have, but if you didn't hear of them, again, you heard it for the first time on the Stephanie Humphrey channel. As I wrap this Sip and Say with Stephanie up, the Black edition, I think my computer is going to go out because it's low. Actually, have it here, and I wanted to highlight, even if I'm not able to I'm gonna do it for as long until it goes out, but I want to highlight a few Black shows, y'all. I think I mentioned Abbott Elementary at a previous Sip and Say. Y'all, okay, my computer just went out. I didn't realize it was getting low before the show, but that's all good. I'm gonna rely on my y'all have heard me say I can't rely on my memory, but I'm about to rely on my memory right now. So if you've never seen Abbott Elementary, it is a sitcom that comes on Tuesday nights at 9 a.m. on ABC, y'all. It is about these teachers in Chicago, their successes and woes of being in the classroom, y'all. It is hilarious. I had the actors pulled up. Y'all, it's so accurate in some ways, and it is so funny. Like, they present these classroom situations and these principal situations and these teacher situations in a comical, funny, fun way, and it is so hilarious. And I do tweet about it with my fellow Abbott Elementary watchers. It is so much fun. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick because I want to be able to give you the actors. One of the actors is Tyler from Everybody Hates Chris, y'all. So there are moments on Abbott Elementary where, the actors they're going about their day, they're doing their job as actresses and actors, but there are several moments throughout the sitcom where they look in the camera, and it is hilarious, y'all. Like, those looks that they give in the camera are worth the watch right by itself. The principal Ava is I don't know how she became a principal of an elementary school or any school. because she is not thinking about them kids, y'all. She thinks she's like science. Like, you're supposed to be principling over these children. You're supposed to be going in the classrooms, making sure the teachers are doing what they're supposed to be doing, making sure the kids are learning, doing observations. Y'all, Principal Ava is a hot, stinky mess, and she is so much fun on Abbott Elementary. So let me let you know who elementary teacher. Her last name is Abbott, and so she decided to name the show after her teacher. Y'all, teachers have such a powerful impact on children. Teachers out there, y'all better make sure y'all using y'all teacher powers for good. Nurture these kids, love on these kids while you're teaching them, encourage them, speak life to them, undergird them. I know you need to teach. I know you got curriculum to teach. I know you've got to teach the standards. You got to teach to the test in some respects, but have fun with your children and let them know that you are there for them, because I promise it will leave a lasting impact on the children that you're teaching, the children that you have been entrusted with. Okay, that's my soapbox about teaching, because I am a teacher, so I can say that to other teachers. Thank you very much. And plus, this is Sip and Say with Stephanie. I have to remind y'all to say what to say. But look, this is a cast of Abbott Elementary. Oh, y'all, we got Shirley Ralph. Guess who's coming to dinner? The Mighty Dreadnought from the Mighty Queen. Okay, so Shirley Ralph, and also from Moesha, she's in. Tyler James Williams is the young man who played Chris, and Everybody Hates Chris. His looks, y'all, are priceless. Oh, his looks are all you have to do is look on Gregory. His name is Gregory on the show. All you have to do is look on Gregory's face and you know exactly what he's thinking. So we got Tyler James Williams. We got Quentin Brunson is the creator of the show. She plays Janine. So a lot of the show centers around some things that she wants to implement within the school and trying to get her colleagues on board. Oh my gosh. Then we have Janelle James. She plays Ava. We have Gregory. We have Gregory Sharperson, who plays Wendell. We have Nakia Gamby Turner. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. Hold on. Let me go back. They got the wrong picture with the wrong name. Let me see. I'm looking for the janitor's picture. Of the lunch of the janitor, but it says it's a lunch lady. So I don't know who the janitor is, but the janitor is really good. Like, I really like him. And so Abbott's Elementary is so much fun. The children in the show are wonderful, you all. I'm thinking that they cast children in Chicago. I'm not quite sure about that piece of information. Research it for yourself. But the children are wonderful in the show. Y'all, get you some of Abbott's Elementary. Again, it comes on ABC on Tuesdays at 9:00. It is hilarious. Now, I have to share this information with you. There were a group of white women, I'm just saying how it is, to Sip and Say with Stephanie, that did not like the portrayal of teachers in Abbott Elementary. I think they got shut down on social media, so it's all good. It's a predominantly Black cast by a Black creator. Enough said, right? But it's hilarious. Get you some of it. And let me know what y'all think. Like, if you've watched it, go ahead and add it to the chat. If you haven't watched it, check it out and let me know what you think in the comment section. I absolutely love the show. So moving right along, that's the only show that I'm currently watching, like the only Black show that I'm currently watching. The only other show that I watch on a regular basis is 911. 911 is coming back on in March, so I'll be watching Monday nights at 8:00. I'll be watching my 911. Okay, it's not coming on first Monday. That's my family Bible study, so okay, I'm all good. I think it's coming on March 24th. So check ++ for that. So I'm excited for that to be coming back on. I also have been watching Blackish. I have never watched I've watched pieces of Blackish throughout the years, but I'm not a regular watcher of the show. But because it's their last season, I have been catching a few of the episodes. It's a really interesting show. I actually went back and watched the first couple of seasons just so I can prepare for this 8th season, so I can have some background knowledge. And it's a pretty good show. Some of the episodes that I've watched really highlight, like they really dive into what's going on in Black America. Their family had a discussion about police shooting Black men. You're not going to find that on a lot of shows, but they had that discussion with their children. They did an episode about the woes that we experienced under President Trump's administration. That show was not originally aired. They did not. I don't know the title of that episode, but it was not originally aired. And they eventually just, I think, I don't know how long ago it was. I want to say it was about a year or so later. I can't really remember, but it finally was released. You can see it on Hulu. It was finally released, and I watched it. I don't know what the big deal was as far as them not releasing it when it was initially supposed to be released. To me, it was very straightforward. They did it in a very tasteful and respectful way, but the point, they got the point across. So if you do have Hulu or another streaming channel that shows Blackish, I encourage you to go back and watch a few of their episodes, because they really do highlight what has been going on in Black America over the last 8 years. Another few shows that I would love for you to tune into if you can. You all have already heard me talk about Soul of a Nation. Soul of a Nation came on last year. I can't remember which season it was, but it was a 6-part miniseries that came on that talked about Blacks in sports, Black activism, Blacks in the entertainment world, Blacks in church. And I can't remember what the other 2 episodes about. You can still watch Soul of a Nation on ABC. Just type in Soul of a Nation. You can still catch those episodes. It's some really great information, really rich information. And at the end of each episode, Sunny Houston, who is one of the hosts of The View, she does a kitchen talk. I think is it a kitchen table talk or just in the kitchen? I think it's called In the Kitchen with Sunny Houston. And that's when some of the guests get real about when they first knew they were Black, issues with our hair. Y'all know the 2019 Crown Act is in effect. So the guests get very real about being Black in America. So it's good. So see if you can catch it. Also, if you've heard me say it before, but if you didn't watch Women of the Movement, you can watch it on Hulu. I think it was a 4-part. I think we had 4 parts of Women of the Movement. It highlighted Miss Mamie Till, who was the mother of Emmett Till, who was brutally tortured and killed. The 2 men who allegedly did it, but who really did it, they did go on trial. They were found not guilty. They later admitted to doing it in a, I can't remember the name of the magazine, but they actually admitted to killing him. Of course, they couldn't be tried again because we have such a thing in America called double jeopardy. If you've gone on trial for a crime, there's no way that you can go on trial again for it. So why not say we killed him? So they did. Anyway, Women of the Movement takes us through the journey of Emmett with his parents in Chicago, or with his mom and grandmother in Chicago, him going with his uncle. What was his uncle's name? I can't think of his uncle's name, but going to Mississippi with his uncle, and then the events that happened that led up to his death and after it. Y'all, it has such great information about the events that surrounded Emmett Till's death and after his body was recovered, and how the sheriff immediately, he ordered his body to be buried immediately, and then later tried to say it wasn't him. Like it was a lot of information that I knew already, but I also learned some new information, some new facts about Emmett Till's murder. As of now, no one has served time for his murder. And I know Carolyn Bryant lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. She is the one that accused Emmett of whistling at her. She's still alive. Again, she lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. The 2 men who committed his murder are no longer alive. So yeah, Women of the Movement is amazing. I also want you to watch, if you can, Summer of Soul. So I don't know if you've heard of Summer of Soul, but Questlove, whose real name, y'all, because this really is going to be the last thing that I talk about. So Questlove, I don't know now I have to type it out to you, but let me just go ahead and type it in. I actually watched this is loading. I actually watched Soul. It's amazing, y'all. It was the Black Cultural Festival. Let me see, make sure I'm saying it right. Y'all give me just a minute. Let me look it up because I want to make sure I'm giving you accurate information about the Summer of Soul. So while I'm looking this up, it features art like BB King, Sly and the Family Stone, yes, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Aretha Franklin, the Chavis family, Stevie Wonder. Who else was there? Marilyn McCoo. I can't remember the group that she was with, but the Marilyn McCoo that her and her family did some singing. Nina Simone, Shut It Down, y'all. And some Latino artists that I wasn't familiar with them, but they worked it out. And so Summer of Soul, I'm still getting there. I started talking, so let me get there. This is the information that I want. Okay, so let me look it up another way because this isn't giving me the information that I want. And y'all, I'm gonna just be honest, y'all. Like I did not subscribe to Hulu. I subscribed to Hulu just to watch Summer of Soul. And that was the one part. And then because during the holidays, Hulu had a 99 cent a month sale. So I got Hulu for the next year for 99 cents a month. So I was like, I'm gonna jump on that. And I went straight to Summer of Soul because I heard Amir, who is Questlove, his name is Amir Thompson. I heard Amir Thompson, aka Questlove, talking about this. He somehow found these tapes that were sitting in somebody's basement since the 60s. He compiled all of this wonderful, amazing, rich Black history and Black excellence. He combined it into this movie, and he actually won awards for releasing this movie. Y'all, it's amazing. Like it is absolutely amazing. If you want to, watch Summer of Soul and you don't have Hulu, get somebody who got a Hulu account. Ask them if you can come over their house and watch Summer of Soul. And y'all, just Sunday, this past Sunday, ABC aired Summer of Soul. If I would have known it was coming on, I would have let you all know, Sip and Say last Thursday, but I didn't know. I was flipping to the TV and I was like, there's Summer of Soul. So I sat and I watched it all over again. Y'all, it is so good. Okay, so I'm supposed to be looking it up, right? So it was a Black cultural festival. I want to get it right, y'all. So let me see if I can find it. Let me just say, what is Summer of Soul? Maybe that'll tell me, that'll give me some more. Okay, Summer of Soul is a documentary film that shines a spotlight on the Harlem Cultural Festival. I knew I had it wrong. The Harlem Cultural Festival. It was a series of concerts that took place during the summer of 1969. So it's like 6 weeks. I remember reading 6 weeks of concerts given by these amazing new and upcoming and already seasoned artists. And so again, these tapes were laying in somebody's basement, and Questlove combined them together and he released Summer of Soul. I think he released it last year, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all, oh man, it's amazing. The Harlem Cultural Festival was, it was situated, or it was the location for, that's what I'm trying to say. The location for the Harlem Culture Festival was right, was close to where Woodstock was taking place. So Woodstock was taking place over here. The Harlem Cultural Festival was taking place over here. They tried to release Summer of Soul. Let me backtrack. They tried to release the Harlem Cultural Festival around that time as a Black Woodstock, but it was not well received. So again, these tapes sat in someone's basement. Questlove got a hold of them and he released them to the masses, y'all. I'm telling you, the singing it's just amazing. And while the Summer of Soul was going on, well, anyway, I won't say that. Y'all can figure it out for yourself. Find out for yourself. Do some research for yourself. The Harlem Cultural Festival is amazing, y'all. Like I was grooving, like listening to, especially the first time, I was just singing and dancing. It's just, it's amazing, y'all. Especially Sly and the Family Stone, like they was rocking. Like, so get you some Summer of Soul, get you some Soul of a Nation, get you some Women of the Movement, get you some Abbott Elementary. Are there any Black shows that you all are watching? Add it to the chat, add it to the comments. I would love to know what you are watching so that we can watch it too. If there's a good show you know about, let us know so that we can tune in ourselves. All right. All right. Well, that's all I have for Sip and Say Black edition. I'm actually going to take a sip of my water because that alcohol is, woo, sha, sha, sha. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining me tonight for Sip and Say with Stephanie, the Black Edition. I look forward to seeing you next Thursday for Be Free Ministries Bible study. Remember, Bible study is the first 2 Thursdays in each month, and Sip and Say with Stephanie is the last 2 Thursdays, or I should say the third and the fourth Thursdays in each month. All of Sip and Say, all of Bible studies are at 6:30 p.m. on Thursdays. Look, y'all, I look forward to seeing you there. Look, y'all, if you have not done anything to celebrate Black History Month, if you have not done anything to celebrate yourself as a Black person, do something. Go get you a massage, go to the park and take you a walk. Get you a jump rope and get you a hula hoop and hula hoop if you want to. Go hang out with your friends. Go to a local festival. Do something that celebrates you as a Black woman, a Black man, a Black person. Because y'all, if we don't celebrate ourselves, who gonna celebrate us, y'all? So celebrate you during this Black History Month and continue to celebrate you every day, every week, every month, every year, every decade, every century. Because as we know, in my house and probably in your house too, is Black History every day. All right, y'all. I'm signing off. Y'all take care. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. I'll see you all next Thursday.